All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm San Francisco Mayor Reed, and with our public safety lead in San Francisco, Chief Bill Scott, our district attorney, our sheriff, Paul Miyamoto, and one of our most for public safety, Supervisor Matt Dorsey. We are also by Avenue Officer, who will begin about why we're in the first place. I was expressing my opinion to San Francisco voters. She has been a game changer, and through it has given our police tools that they need to stop crime, to prevent it in the first place. People in this city want to. More importantly, information that we put into Prop E before we put it on the ballot came directly from the police officers themselves. When I had an opportunity to go visit the various stations, get an understanding of what they wanted to see and how they wanted to do their jobs more efficiently. Time and time again, they were proud to be a part of the San Francisco Police Department, but lacked the tools necessary, the 21st century technology necessary to be as effective. It is no wonder, as a result, preliminarily technology like license plate readers, we've seen within July and June of the past 2 months an over 70% decline in car break-ins. And that has a lot to do with technology. And San Francisco, fortunately, is seeing low in terms of crime, the lowest crime rate we've experienced in 10 years. That when things happen, numbers don't matter. So we will continue to do everything we can to combat related to crime, which is why we're not see pre-pandemic level in our police. And we're excited about what that means, because and one with 50, that is, the classes are fill up, and we anticipate half years that our fully staffed. But we're making sure that in light of the challenges that exist, we are still doing our jobs and still getting the kinds of results that are making a significant difference in San Francisco. And today is a really exciting time because, more importantly, as I said, we have our law enforcement leadership, and we work hand in hand together. And isn't it nice, after so many years of disconnect, to have us all on the same page, pushing for the same kinds of results, public safety for the entire city, for every resident and every corner of our city. So it's not just one thing or another. It is all of it, and we are doing it every single day. And today is an example of us moving forward with a new tool that will transform how we address issues around the most important related to the challenge with public safety. Some of the issues we're dealing with open air drug dealing, sideshows, you name it. This new technology will also lend itself to making things a lot better. And we're looking forward to learning more about it, seeing a demonstration, and just know that this is one of many tools that we are using to help combat the challenges around safety in our city. And we are excited and we can't wait. Finally, before I introduce Chief Scott, I think that what you are seeing with a number of situations that have occurred recently in San Francisco, they've gotten a lot of attention, but I want to make it very clear that whether it was a shooting, whether it was retail theft or other issues, car break-ins, our officers were there to make the arrest. And in some cases, they were proactive, which is what has led to removing people who are committing crimes in our city off the streets. Time and time again, it sends a clear message to people all over the Bay Area and the country that San Francisco has accountability, and we will not tolerate under any circumstances lawlessness, and we will be there to hold you accountable. We are all working together using every tool at our disposal to make sure that we address public safety in our city for the better. And with that, let me introduce our police chief, Bill Scott.
Thank you, Mayor Breed, and good morning, everybody. Let me say thank you to Mayor Breed for her leadership. These tools have been a game changer, and I'm going to start with the bottom line and just piggyback on some of what Mayor Breed has said. You know, our crime reduction has been phenomenal, below where we were this time last year, down 56%. Our robberies are down. Our homicide rate is at the lowest levels that any. So things are moving in the right direction. We have, we'll call it, and a lot of that is because of the partnerships. We have our DA, Brooke Jenkins, here. You'll hear from her in a second. You'll hear from our Sheriff, Paul Miyamoto. But we are working together. As Mayor Breed said, we are working together. And these tools are only going to enhance that. So I want to talk a little bit about these security cameras and what they mean to us. As you all know, we've already implemented the use of drone technology. We've already our ALPR cameras through the flock camera system, and we have made arrests on some really bad and dangerous people in a fashion that we would not have been able to do it in prior to this technology. This is yet a technology officers that we can use crime when it happens, sometimes before it happens. So, but do it with our values. Do it with the values of this surgical in terms of who we focus our attention on. We don't need to waste time. And this technology will allow us to do that. The other thing about this LVT technology, it's very flexible. As you can see, these are mobile camera units. They have sound devices on them where we can make announcements. We can give warnings. They can move from one hotspot to the other when we need them. And we can be more responsive to our community who are calling for safety across our city. Again, this is huge for us. And Prop E was, thanks to the voters and thanks to the leadership of the mayor and others in our city, has really allowed us to do this at a speed in which we have not been able to do this before. But doing it with speed doesn't mean we're going to be not thoughtful. It doesn't mean we're going to ignore the community concerns and ignore privacy concerns and those things. Being very implement these to state laws, adhering to our values, our local, listening to communities. Before we introduce public safety to any meetings, so the community can want to invite anybody and ideas, please get in touch with us. We want to do this right and we want to make this right. But let me go back to our bottom line. Our bottom line is a safe city, a city where we have less people victimized, a city where we don't fear crime in this city. And that's what we're trying to get to. A note to people who commit crime, the day is over. That day is over where you get to come here, or if you live here, get to just roam the streets and victimize our community. Now, we still have crime, make no mistake about it, but we want to keep driving that crime down. And that is what we intend to do with the use of these cameras. And this is a tremendous, tremendous boost to the morale of our officers and to our ability to get things right in terms of driving crime down. Now, these first units, let me say this because I know this questions will be asked probably, but I'll jump in front of it. We plan to, after getting a lot of community feedback in the Mission District, where there's open air drug dealing, there's concerns about human trafficking. One of these first units will be deployed in the Mission District, and then another one will be deployed in the mid-market area around the UN Plaza area. Really relentless in addressing open air drug use and drug sales. So this will aid in that as well. And what we intend to do with this footage when we catch people is give it to our DA so she can do her thing and prosecute people that are committing crimes in this city. So with that, I'd like to turn the microphone over to our district attorney, a great partner, Attorney Brooke Jenkins. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and I want to thank the mayor as well as all of our spearheading Prop E across the finish line to make sure that voters understood why these issues are significant, why the police department and other law enforcement agencies need to be able to technology, and for making sure understand they voted to pass that piece. We are in the capital of the world here in Silicon Valley, and we have to make sure technology. We know that, yes, we've been combating a police that is short-staffed, and what that means on the ground is that we have fewer humans who are able to observe what's going on and respond to what's going on. And so we have to be able to use resources like technology to substitute for the lack of that human involvement, and this is one of the keys to being able to do that. But even if we were fully staffed, I want to be able that I can prove technology captures an auto jury of who did it, that we are prosecuting them for crimes is what technology office is the ability to actively prosecute our cases. Stood in support of this legislation is that not only if you come and you commit crime will you be caught, because that is of course first most important, but we have to make sure that it's on the back end, and the only way to ensure that fear is to make sure that we have provable cases in the district attorney's office. And so yes, I want to highlight something the mayor said, which is that only a few years ago you may have seen a district attorney standing against this type of initiative and this type of these types of tools. But now you see a full partnership between City Hall, between law enforcement agencies and my office to stand firm that San Franciscans and everybody who comes here for whatever purpose, whether to work or to visit, deserve safety. They deserve to park their cars and not be concerned of whether or not the window will be broken or their car will be gone. They should not have to be concerned about attacks, assaults, and other things. We have to provide, which is fundamental. That's what we do each and every day. And we have seen the progress, as you heard, but our foot is on the gas to make sure that those numbers continue to drop, that we go from just highlighting data to a point where people in this city say they feel safe again, because that is our true goal. And so again, I thank everybody who's standing up here who has been a tremendous partner in this effort. I will continue to stand with them as we push forward in this work. And now I would like to turn it over to our Sheriff, Paul Miyamoto.
Thank you. Very happy to be here today, standing alongside, as people have mentioned, our partnerships here in public safety, not just with us entrusted to make sure everybody is safe, but also the mayor and electeds who make sure that we have the support to do so. That this is going to just equip us to make sure that people in the city don't fear crime, but that people fear committing crimes in the city. They're going to mention by the police chief. And also, a note, the sheriff's office has been using technology for years in terms of our job is enhanced by keeping places safe in the jails, in the courts, in the hospitals, all of those public spaces. That has been a force multiplier for us, and we are very happy to see this occur now in public spaces to help the police department with this to continue to occur. The surveillance fire is also helping for follow-up investigation, to be able to see what about to happen, but what has happened cuts down on the time it takes to get other surveillance footage as well. And this is going to, in terms of our out there putting. I would like to not just the business, which are helping us to embrace these, which are voting on the technologies that we need to make sure that these tools are utilized. We're very excited to partner with the police department to continue to keep people safe. We're very excited that these units are going to help us enhance our capabilities out there. And we're very excited that we're still on the right trajectory. this trajectory to make sure that everyone in San Francisco is safe. And without further ado, let me introduce one of the people who have helped us to get to this point, Supervisor Matt Dorsey.
Thank you so much, Sheriff Miyamoto, and welcome everybody to District 6. I want to express my gratitude to Mayor Breed for proposing Proposition E, and then also, as some other people have mentioned, expressing my gratitude to San Francisco voters for passing it, that made our use of surveillance technology puts us on a level playing field with outside counties that don't have the kinds of restrictive rules that San Francisco has had in recent years. This enables us to use some tools that are going to make our communities safer. Now, Proposition E passed by a large margin citywide. Among supervisor districts, it passed was well over 60% of voters supported it. And this is the district residents know of issues that this solve that are undermining to community. When people in District 6, it doesn't necessarily that this is something that is robbing our communities of the safe enjoyment of their our economic and worse to drug market public health calamity that is unprecedented since the AIDS crisis. We need to do more with technology, and I'm incredibly grateful to the leadership of Mayor Breed and, as District Attorney Jenkins said, the leadership of everybody behind me. I have been in city government for a long time, and I can't think of a time when we have had federal, state, local partners all rowing in the same direction on public safety challenges. The good news, and I have said this for years, most major cities in America would trade their violent crime problems for our drug crimes problems in a heartbeat. City, and our statistics are good, but we do. I appreciate that comeback. We've got more to go, progress to make, and help us get there. So thank you so much. And with that, I'd like to welcome Sir Mark Cranny to give a demo.
Thank you, Supervisor Dorsey. So LVT is very proud and excited to partner with the City and County of San Francisco to support your drug and crime reduction initiatives and to help increase life safety as well as property protection. I'm confident that the LiveView Technologies platform will be able to assist San Francisco PD as well as county in being able to detect and defend against crime in high crime areas as well as in situations such as open air drug markets and the smash and grab use case that the mayor also discussed. LVT offers a unique force multiplier for law enforcement as well as for our enterprise customers. You may have noticed these types of units around the Bay Area, particularly in big box retail locations, shopping malls, as well as multifamily housing type areas that our customers on the private side have been using for years. We have over 15,000 of these deployed throughout the nation, forward deployed. We run them as a fleet. We take maintenance and upkeep and moving of these units. And we are extremely excited to be another arrow in the quiver for the City and County of San Francisco to reduce crime going forward with their initiatives. So Mayor Breed and her team will be using our flagship product. As you can see, it's rapidly deployable, mobile security unit, or what we call it runs on solar. It's internet or cellular connected with our own private network, so you can bounce around to get the best coverage. It uses a combination of security cameras, lights, speakers, and AI to eliminate blind spots, protect property, and deter unwanted behavior. I'd like to turn your attention to the units as we do a quick demonstration. A common use case is deterring smash and grabs. Envision bad actors walking in and out or weaving in a parking lot or on the side of a road, looking into windows of cars before they do a smash and grab. Our AI can detect this unwanted human behavior and initiate what we call a Tier 1 response.
This area is being monitored for the safety and security of the citizens of San Francisco.
Now, if that doesn't scare away the bad actors, or at least give them pause, we can trigger a Tier 2 alert.
You are loitering. The authorities have been notified. Please leave immediately.
Ideally, the bad actor runs away. What we typically find is with these deterrent capabilities, lights, audio talk downs that are automated with AI, that we see a 50 to 75% reduction in incidents, but we always have to keep at that 20-30% of more determined people. So we also have the ability to access the cameras in real time and do a remote live talk down, and you can also retrieve evidence of a crime or incident that's been committed during or after it's taken place. Another example that the mayor as well as the chief and the sheriff have described is open air drug markets. Envision a crowd of people loitering in an area after hours. Our AI can detect this behavior and trigger a Tier 1 response.
This area is being monitored for the safety and security of the citizens of San Francisco.
In the situation where the crowd does not disperse, an individual and or more individuals approach, and or our technology can also pick up certain things like drug transactions are taking place and do another escalation at that time.
Are trespassing. Please leave the area. This area is under video surveillance and you have been recorded.
So ideally, the dealers in their and ideally make them leave, but before a crime is captured, but at least we'll, at the minimum, we'll capture the crime on camera, and authorities now have evidence to build a case for an arrest and or prosecution. So these two scenarios should provide a high level of what the technology, LVT's technology, can bring to the table as a force multiplier for the city of San Francisco, and another arrow in the quiver for law enforcement. And what at this point I'd like to, thank the mayor and the entire team here in San Francisco. We're excited to partner and point your attention over to the tent if you'd like to get a deeper dive demonstration of our video management system and see some of the preset views of the wonderful city as well as the parking lot. And Rob over there, our solution architect, can walk you through some other use cases, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mayor, and everyone else. Appreciate it.
You guys have a couple quick questions here for the mayor, police chief, sheriff, TA, or supervisor. We can do it just a couple, but if you really have a deep dive question on the technology itself, Mark and the team over here will be really happy to take those.
Ideally, all this technology we coordinate. Just like we have mentioned before to you all, the flock camera technology is in coordination with our drones, in coordination. For instance, let's say this camera captures a license plate of a car that just committed a crime. You name the crime. Officers can put that in the system as a wanted vehicle. It goes out through the ALPR system, and then that vehicle is detected if it's picked up on a camera, not only in San Francisco, but any Bay Area city that has this technology. So we have been able, as I said earlier, we've been able to find wanted people and wanted cars just by doing that. This enhances that. Well, the beauty of this technology is it's mobile. Yeah, in the Mission District, within a couple of weeks, probably sooner, we have the technology now. And here's the ideal scenario for us. If we can resolve some of the issues that the communities have been complaining about for decades, those cameras can be relocated to other places that have challenges. So, I mean, to have this type of flexibility is a thing for our city. We had three. So, and the third one to be determined.
Yeah, it's over there, Chief. The third one's right there.
Right behind you. Yeah, but we're just trying to determine where deployed, and we'll make that announcement when its decision has been made. Thank you. Well, I can have Mark talk about what he's seeing in other cities, but we did research other cities, and I didn't introduce him, but Director Ryan Cow behind us is he actually is the project lead, and behind you, Lieutenant Chris Wilhelm, who's standing right here behind you, and of course, Assistant Chief Dave Lazar. So we have done our research, and Mark, if you want to talk about what you're seeing in other cities, I think that'll be more appropriate.
Santa Clara County, probably the biggest where you may have seen them if it's in the public sector side, Santa Clara Valley or Santa Clara County Public Works is using them particularly for the BART 3 extension type areas. So other California counties, LA County is a big user in conjunction also with Public Works as well as transportation. So a couple examples, Sacramento, big users across the bay, a lot of units as well. It depends on how you configure it, but we sell them as a service. So think of like a guard service or a fully loaded officer is going to be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. These are more in the $30,000, $40,000 a year range, and a force multiplier before you even factor in the return of crime reduction as well. So.
I want to add something just for clarity around technology, because this is not the end of what we will use as a city in order to address issues around public safety. We have the ability to use whatever technologies are available at our disposal as a way to help deter crime. So these units are mobile, but we also, and to give you a perspective, we and will be installing 400 license plate. Installed, I believe the latest count was somewhere around 130. 180. And even at the point of where we had 100 license plate readers up, we were, for example, make an arrest for someone who had committed a crime in San Jose. We were able to make arrest and recover. We were able to address issues around car break-ins and other issues. And here's the thing. We also have the ability to put up stationary cameras that provide surveillance in particular areas, and we are working with communities to look at those as an option too. So I want to be very clear that this is a big part of all of what we are using to maximize our use of whatever technology is available to help us combat the most pressing issues in our city. And it should be noted that, the chief talked about car break-ins overall year to date, 50% lower than they were last year. But after we had started to use the drone technology and we released footage for what that would entail, we saw a in June in comparison to last year, 70% reduction. We are seeing the issue and what's happening in drug dealing are going to be in and how we will follow people where they go when they decide to move to. We will have you on camera. We will send letters to your homes letting your family members know that your car was located in an area, a hotspot known for prostitution. We are not backing down from the use of technology in any shape or form in order to address issues around public safety while simultaneously negotiating the best contract that our police department has seen, which is why people are deciding to leave other law enforcement agencies around the Bay Area to come to San Francisco. And this technology adds to an interest in wanting to serve in law enforcement in San Francisco. Combination, and we are really excited. And at this time, of what that looks like.